Hey guys, so I've got a DIY for you today. This crop top is inspired by one that Kendall Jenner and Bella Hadid have been seen wearing probably once and then they threw it away. But the one they wore was like $100 and this one cost me like $2.50. So the first thing you'll need is a piece of ribbed fabric. I got this ribbed sweater from Goodwill. The stretchier the better, because say you don't get your dimensions perfectly, you've got that little bit of stretch to kind of help you out. This pattern was brought to you by a Walgreens coupon catalog because that's all I had. You could use a newspaper or tissue paper or whatever you want. So decide how long you want the length of your top to be. I think I went with 11 inches for mine and then added half an inch for seam allowance. The other side is just a curved line for the natural curve of your side. That part that's angled goes under your armpit, and then the top is your neckline. The width isn't too important because hopefully your shirt has a good amount of stretch. So I would say if you're a small, do somewhere between 3 to 4 inches wide. A medium 4 to 5, and then for a large just go up from there. Now fold your fabric in half and pin your pattern down along the folded edge. I also lined up the bottom of my pattern with the existing hem because I'm just going to keep it. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you have to hem yours when we're done, that's fine too. And then cut it out and repeat the process so that you have two matching panels, one for the front and one for your back. Make sure to line them up together and just trim them so that they are a perfect match. The sleeve pattern is essentially just a rectangle with an edge cut off that matches the armpit edge because we're going to sew these pieces together. And this is just a visual for when it does come time to sew to make sure that the panel is sloping downward, not upward. So now we're gonna pin the sleeve pattern down. You wanna double your fabric up again and make sure the ribbing is going horizontal because that's gonna determine which direction it stretches in, and stretch is super important for this. So go ahead and pin your sleeve pattern down once you've got it nice and straight. And notice I've got a little overlap here. That's because the pattern is too wide for my arm. And like I said, stretch is the key here. So as long as this will stretch enough for your arm to fit in, then you should be fine, in theory. So you want to end up with 4 pieces, a front piece, a back piece, and 2 sleeves. Now to put them together, you want the good side of the front piece facing up, and then with a sleeve, with a bad side facing up, you line up the armpit edges, and I know that sounded fucked, so hopefully this visual aid helps you. Pet peeve of mine when people say my DIYs don't make sense, bitch, watch it again. Like, I've never been able to watch a DIY just once or twice and, like, understand it. Yeah, sorry for that salty moment. Pin it along the armpit edges. It should look like this. Basically, you'll have your good side facing up with your sleeve pieces, bad sides facing up, kind of overlapping each other and sewn along the armpit edges with a straight stitch. And if that audio explanation, this visual aid, and my text aid still can't help you make this shirt, girl, I can't help you. We're gonna have the blind and the deaf walking around in this shirt, but not you. So yeah, go ahead and continue connecting the armpit edges. How many times have I said armpit in this tutorial? That is such a gross word. You should say underarm. So go ahead and turn it inside out just to make sure you didn't sew any of those pieces on backwards, because let's be honest, I gave a trash explanation of how to do that. So if you managed to do that correctly the first time, then turn it back inside out and pin your sides down as well as the underarm. Sew those sides down with a straight stitch, and then you should be able to turn it inside out and have a somewhat functioning top at this point. Go ahead and try it on. If it's still too loose, you can just go back and re-sew the sides a little bit tighter. You also want to determine how low you want your neckline to sit. I wanted mine right about here, so go ahead and pin. Make sure you have a nice transition above your underarm because this is technically just like one big opening. You'll want to take an iron and iron down your edges. Fun fact, I don't own an iron, so I'm using this old ass straightener, but it works just the same. Just make sure not to burn your fabric. For the opening only, it is pretty important to use a zigzag stitch because that's going to allow you some stretch, whereas a straight stitch will cause your shirt to get stretched out. So carefully sew all along the opening, and after that, I mean, you're pretty much done. The original top had a shorter sleeve than this one, but I decided I kind of liked the longer length, so I left it as is, but you can always cut yours down and hem yours if you'd like. I left mine cut because I liked that look, but that's pretty much it for this top, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you get around to making your own. And if you have any suggestions or thoughts, leave me a comment below. Thanks so much for watching.